Kindness is something we are taught from the time we are very young. We are taught to share our things, help each other, and care about the people around us. The way we were raised makes it a part of who we are, a virtue that becomes a part of our very being. But as adults, we have to deal with the complicated world around us, and life's demands push us in many different ways. The stresses of modern life can make us feel stretched thin, overloaded, and unable to find time for our own health and happiness. Being kind and taking care of yourself at the same time becomes a complex and crucial act. It's a challenge that we all face as we try to find personal satisfaction and healthy living. In this video, we'll show you how to balance self-care and kindness, much like the Stoics did. We will learn the skills and tactics that will help us find that important balance. Culture often puts pressure on us to be constantly helpful to others, while also pushing us to ignore our own health and happiness. This is where Stoicism, an old theory with timeless knowledge, comes in to help you figure out how to balance all of these things. We will go over the 10 Stoic principles in this video. These principles can help you balance your acts of kindness with your self-care. Implementing these ideas into your daily life can help you strive for a more satisfying, good, and peaceful existence. Let's begin. 1. Develop self-awareness. It's the key to balance. Being aware of yourself is the first step toward balance and unity. The Stoic theory stresses how important it is to know our own weaknesses, strengths, and emotional causes. It is easy to forget about this important step in the midst of everyday life. You can learn a lot about your own wants and limits, though, if you go on a journey of self-discovery. Self-awareness is the process of looking inside and analyzing oneself. It makes you think about how your feelings, wants, and motives are all intertwined. Being self-aware can help you tell the difference between acts of kindness that are sincere and in line with your values and those that are motivated by social pressures or standards. You might want to set aside time to write in a journal, meditate, or talk to a doctor or psychologist. If you want to learn more about yourself, these techniques can help. As you get to know your inner world better, you'll be able to make smarter decisions about when to be kind to others and when to put yourself first. Remember that becoming more self-aware is a process, not a goal. By constantly removing the layers of your mind, you can learn more about how complicated you are and develop a deep understanding of who you are. 2. Show mindful kindness, action based on thought. The Stoic theory puts a lot of weight on doing things on purpose. Stoicism pushes people to do acts of kindness with the greatest purpose and presence. This is called mindful kindness. It's about encouraging people to be kind in a way that is clear and intentional, rather than just out of habit or duty. In our busy world, it's all too easy to do nice things just because you always do them, without really being present in the moment. As an example, think about helping out at a neighborhood shelter. There's no doubt that the act is moral, but sometimes it can become a boring habit. Stoicism tells us to stop and think about how we're doing things. When you practice mindful kindness, you promise to be fully present during every act of kindness. Completely engage yourself in the experience, whether you're helping a friend, working for a good cause, or just being there to listen. Use your mind, your feelings, and your senses. Spend some time getting to know the people you're helping, like if you're working at a shelter. Pay attention to their stories, try to understand what they need, and really feel what they're going through. When you do this, a simple act of kindness becomes a deeply important experience for both you and the person you help. By making conscious kindness a habit, you can make sure that every act of kindness has meaning, is real, and fits with your values. This way of doing things not only makes you more kind, but it also keeps you from taking on too much. 3. Get clear why saying no is powerful. Setting limits is an important part of taking care of yourself. It shows how much you care about keeping your mental balance and protecting your own health. Stoicism tells us that it's okay to say no when we need to, even when someone wants to do something nice for us. Setting and sticking to limits is very important in a world full of requests, responsibilities, and promises. Making clear what your limits are keeps your mental and physical health safe and prevents it from being hurt. Imagine that a coworker asks you for help with a project, even though you already have a lot of work to do. Stoicism tells you to stop and think about what you can do in these situations. Are you ready to take on more tasks without putting your health at risk? Is saying yes really a sign of your readiness? Or is it because of social pressures or the fear of letting other people down? Remember that setting limits is not selfish. It's a sign that you are committed to taking care of yourself. It means being aware of your own limits and making sure you're not pushing yourself too far. You can find a good mix between being kind and taking care of yourself by setting clear limits. This will help you to do more real and long-lasting acts of kindness. 4. Put virtuous kindness first, making sure actions match values. According to the Stoic philosophy, acts of kindness that are in line with good values are very important. Stoicism says that virtue includes things like knowledge, fairness, courage, and moderation. Roman Stoicism says that acts of kindness should not only help others, but they should also help you and the people you help become more good. People who follow this Stoic concept are asked to think about the real reasons behind their acts of kindness. Are we being kind because we want to encourage virtue and moral growth? Or are we doing it because we want approval, praise, or what society expects of us? Think about giving your time and money to help a young person who needs direction as a guide. Stoicism tells you to think more about why this person did what they did. Are you really trying to teach them and help them grow morally? Or are you just trying to get praise and approval from your peers? Kind acts that are in line with good values are marked by sincerity and a strong desire to grow in morality. They aren't just motivated by praise or social standards. They come from a real desire to help others and yourself be morally excellent. 5. Accept detachment, letting go of what other people think will happen. Stoicism encourages people to not care about what other people do. You have power over what you think and do, but not over how other people see or react to your kind deeds. This Stoic principle says that we should accept that people's replies are unpredictable and give up our need for approval from others. Think about helping a coworker who is having trouble with a project as an example. Your goals may be truly selfless, but there's no promise that your coworker will show thanks or reciprocate. Stoicism tells us to let go of the need to know what will happen and accept that it can't be predicted. When you accept separation, you set yourself free from the chains of sadness and mental tiredness. Your acts of kindness don't depend on how other people feel or respond anymore. Instead, they come from your steadfast dedication to morals and your desire to help people become better people. 6. Show yourself kindness by practicing self-compassion. Self-compassion, which means giving yourself the same care and understanding that you give to others, is something that Stoicism supports. When you try to be kind to other people, it's important to remember that you deserve kindness and care too. Folks often do nice things for other people while ignoring their own health and happiness at the same time. Self-neglect can show up as ignoring your mental needs, your physical health, or your personal limits for the sake of other people. Stoicism says that this way of thinking is not only not sustainable, but it also works against what you want to do. Self-compassion means understanding that you are human and accepting your flaws. It means being kind, understanding and empathetic to yourself in the same way that you are to other people. By being kind to yourself, you can develop a healthy and long-lasting way of doing acts of kindness. Imagine that you volunteered for a charity event over the weekend and forgot to take time to rest and recover. If you are stoic, you would stop and think about whether this act of kindness comes from a real desire to help or a deep-seated need for approval from others. It tells you to be honest about your limits and put yourself first. Being kind to yourself is not selfish. It's a recognition of your worth and respect. It helps you find the perfect mix between being kind to others and taking care of yourself. 7. Look for balance, not perfection, accepting that you're not perfect. Stoicism gives us a deep understanding of how to find balance. It's not about being perfect, but about making progress. The Stoics knew that trying to be perfect is a difficult goal that is rarely reached. Instead, they pushed for a steady and intentional search for balance over time. This Stoic concept tells you to accept your flaws and limitations as a way to balance being kind and taking care of yourself. It recognizes that sometimes being kind will require more of your time and energy, and other times you should put yourself first. Imagine being in charge of a loved one who is having a hard time. The Stoic philosophy says that in these situations you should put acts of kindness first, even if it means giving up some self-care for a while. Stoicism acknowledges that life is full of changes and difficulties that require different levels of self-care and kindness. The key is to always look for balance instead of trying to reach an impossible level of perfection. It's about being aware of how life's demands change over time and making sure your actions are in line with your ideals and goals. This Stoic way of thinking can help you become more resilient and flexible as you look for inner peace. 8. Regularly thinking about yourself. The power of looking inside. Stoicism puts a lot of value on the act of reflecting on oneself. As you try to find the right mix between being kind and taking care of yourself, regular self-reflection can help you. It means stepping back from the chaos of daily life to look at your decisions, actions, and how well they match up with your beliefs. Self-reflection, a Stoic practice, asks you to think about your acts of kindness and how much they match up with good values like temperance, knowledge, justice, and courage. It makes you think about how committed you are to self-care and whether you've been ignoring your own needs. You might want to set aside some time each day or week to think about yourself. Do things like writing in a notebook, meditating, or just thinking about things. By going deep into your mind, you can learn a lot about how to be kind and take care of yourself in your life. Self-reflection is not a way to criticize yourself. It's a way to learn more about yourself. It's about getting to know yourself better and making sure that your behaviors are in line with your beliefs. By adding this Stoic practice to your daily routine, you can stay alert and deliberate about finding balance. 9. Keep a circle of people who can help you. Allies on the Stoic path. It's very important to have a group of friends, family, and loved ones who back you and understand your commitment to balance. The Stoic theory often does best in a friendly group of people who share the same beliefs and principles. You might want to share your Stoic journey with people who encourage you to be kind and take care of yourself. Take part in discussions about Stoic ideas and how to use them in everyday life. Finding people who can understand, help, and encourage you on your way to inner peace is important. When you're having doubts about yourself, or when you're having trouble finding balance, the support of your friends and family can be very helpful. Their support and understanding can keep you going and help you bounce back. 10. Adopt Stoic resilience, the will to keep going. Finally, Stoicism teaches us how important it is to keep going even when things get hard. Life is full of problems, and there will be times when your self-care or acts of kindness run into problems. Stoic perseverance gives you the tools to change and keep going until you find balance. Think about a situation in which your desire to take care of yourself is met with outside demands and pressures that make you overwork yourself. Stoicism tells you to stick to your values and goals no matter what. It makes you think of clever ways to keep things in balance. Being resilient like a Stoic doesn't mean stubbornly fighting off outside forces. Instead, it means adjusting to them while staying true to your values. Even when things get hard, it means committing to moral growth and personal peace. Being kind and taking care of yourself at the same time is a delicate art that requires constant work and focus. Stoicism gives us 10 timeless principles that can change our lives and help us a great deal on this journey. Remember that Stoicism is a path, not a place you get to. Thank you for joining us on this journey of balance, kindness, and self-care. We hope you found this video insightful. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'd be thrilled to have you as part of our community. Remember, we're here to help you make your life better. Together, we'll explore new ways to harmonize kindness and self-care, creating a more fulfilling and balanced life. Until next time, take care and stay kind to yourself and others.